Hi there, Serial Trader here. Let's have a check-in with Bitcoin, as it's been a little while since the last video. So in the last video, I was thinking there may have been a top in place, as labeled here in Wave 5, at 9,069. Now that wasn't the case, and it actually went a little higher, and we went as high as 9,767. So in my opinion, what's taken place here is we've actually had just an extension in this fifth wave. And if you want to look at the subdivisions here, okay, this wave 5 within itself still has a nice 1, 2, 3, I'd say we had a triangle 4, right, and 5, something like this. And that'd be one lesser degree. Yeah, something of that nature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. For probably a larger one. So that works well enough. And then we were anticipating some sort of corrective decline as the next entry opportunity. And obviously it didn't happen quite when anticipated because the up move just wasn't quite done yet. But now that we have some more price action in place, we likely have something like this playing out. So we have our initial move down for A. We've had this corrective through a move up in B. And now possibly in the early stages of C, although it's unclear, B could certainly still go a little higher. Or maybe this is totally wrong and we just had this very brief sharp pullback and now we're moving up in a new trend, although I don't think so. It doesn't look like that's what's happening here. So expect something. I'll just get rid of these lines here. Expect something like this, I would say. Now, what else can we use to try and define some sort of trade to look for? Well, we'll take a Fibonacci retracement of this initial move up from the bottom, okay? And this is the 50% level, this is the 61.8% level, and they both fall. Okay, I'll say the levels. 8,096 is the 50%, and 7701 is the 61.8%. And notice they actually fall within the previous fourth wave's range of one lesser degree, which is a common retracement as well on its own after an impulse wave is done for the subsequent correction. So that's a zone to look for. And what else can we do? We can do a Fibonacci extension of A from B into C. So let's do that. Let's see here. Just bear with me. Fibonacci extension. Okay, off the high here, down to the A wave extreme, off our current B wave extreme, and this is the equality relationship between A and C. Okay, and that's a common Fibonacci relationship between an A wave and a C wave within a zigzag, for instance. That doesn't mean it has to stop there, but that's certainly an area of support to look for. And what else? Well, if we bring up the indicators and oscillators, so this is the 4-hour chart. So really nothing going on there of significance. I'll close that. Other than to say the 4-hour MACD lines are actually above the 0 line now. So that means that the trend based on that indicator is actually up now, whereas before the trend was down because they were below the 0 line. But nothing else really to remark on with those two things. So interesting looking here. I would say you could buy here if you're willing to likely withstand some short-term downside. But it's looking quite good. It's looking nice to have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, very impulsive looking. And now it definitely looks like we're coming down in some sort of corrective way. And just to show you the subwaves of blue wave B. Let me just reduce that by 1 degree. Hang on. Definitely looks like we have something like this going on, right? A up, B down, C up in place, right? for that larger B, and then coming down in C to match our larger A. So we'll see how that plays out. I will be looking short-term lower here, certainly just based on what I'm seeing. No guarantees. Maybe it could just shoot straight up. Again, though, that doesn't appear to be the most likely scenario at this point. And let's just go a little further. So the daily chart. And, well, you can see we've actually broken a significant resistance level on the daily chart, and that was the, well, the actual exact level is 91.77, but let's just say that 9,200 resistance level. So that's a positive development on this daily. We've actually broken that lower high pattern, okay? Now very, very likely that we set a higher low in this correction down that we're going to have, or that we're likely going to have. So things are really looking up here on Bitcoin overall. And just to reiterate on this 4 hour, I'm definitely going to be looking at the reaction here on this equality relationship between A and C. That's around 84.49, so 84.50, 8400 around there. See how the market reacts, see if volume shows up there. And then after that, if that isn't a significant level, I'll be looking in this Fibonacci zone. Let's just say between you know, high 7s and low 8s, okay? And that is likely going to provide significant support and possibly be a launching pad for the next large move up. So that's certainly something to be watching for. But I'll just mention on, you know, crypto overall. So it's not just Bitcoin that's showing some strength and upside here. There's a lot of altcoins, and some of which have done extraordinarily well in comparison to the overall crypto market. Some are actually making new highs. For instance, EOS is just on an absolute tear, and I have some of that from a long time ago. And it's not something I trade; it's just something I'm hodling. So I checked and just going through all my stuff recently, and I have 18 different cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. So for me, it's just not realistic to be trying to trade all of those as well as all the other trading I do, etc. So I hodl all of them other than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, I'm just devoting some of my capital for trading purposes. And I like it for trading because the patterns have the most integrity, the most clarity, and a lot of that has to do with it being the largest one and the most liquid cryptocurrency as of right now. So that's kind of my take, hodling alts while trading Bitcoin. So hopefully that's helpful for you, and hopefully this opportunity plays out as I'm hoping it to play out. And we get this nice, mature-looking three-wave decline and another great entry opportunity, possibly for a really long-term hold. I mean, if this is destined to go to new highs after launching off of here, or at least kicking off a good leg towards that, I might be inclined just to be more of a hodler if I get a really good entry and it appears that entry won't be tested again. But we'll see. Treat everything like a trade until you have a reason not to. But the reason I say that is just because if you look back on, you know, some of Bitcoin's previous price action, there's times when it would have been very difficult to outperform holding when Bitcoin was just on this absolute tear to the upside, okay? It would have been very, very difficult to try and go in and out and actually outperform the percentage moves that you would have gotten just holding. And we may return to that kind of environment, although we're just, again, not quite there yet. Hopefully on our way to being there. And that's why I mentioned if you get a good entry and it really starts taking off, don't exit too early. Let it run, because based on the past price action in Bitcoin, sometimes the run can really go beyond expectations and make you a lot more money than you thought. But I think I'll wrap it there. Hopefully everyone's had a great weekend and we'll enjoy the remainder. And here's to a great trading week next week. All right, Serial Trader signing off.